All right, No Invite Podcast, Season 2, Episode 41, Season 2, The Level Up. We in this piece, you know what it is, your favorite podcast. The podcast is for the streets, but in a good way, you know what I mean? Not like your ex or you know, and we're not gonna dredge up old memories or bad shit. We just, you know what I'm saying? When we say we're for the streets, it's for a good reason. It's not a bad one. But we got Ann.
Hello there.
The right-hand woman, Ann, in the building, you feel me? How are you?
I am doing a lot better. Amazing.
Amazing, huh? I like that. Yeah, you gotta stay amazing. You gotta stay amazing. Gotta stay busy. How was your week?
Oh my God. My week was a shit show. I'm always good, but you know, sometimes you gotta make sure you maneuver in a situation and make sure everybody else straight. So it was just weird. Like, wait, what the fuck? You came here from Mississippi, sir. Go home. You don't have to be out here. But yeah, some real shit going on.
Oh shit, we might have to cut that out. It might be too real for TV. But anyways, that's what's up. So what else is good? I heard you said you got a family member just turned 21.
I did. So my little cousin, they call out here, they know her as KE, but her name is Shakira. But she just turned 21, super juiced. I'm like so proud of her because she's doing everything that I feel like she's literally doing everything that I wanted to do and didn't do. Like in college, already pledged Greek, about to graduate, started her own business. Like she really out here moving mean in these streets. Like really working with actual celebrities and the whole shebang. I'm hella proud of her.
Shit, man. Well, congratulations to her. That's a big achievement. It's always good to see like our nieces and our nephews and our especially our children too, like see them with these milestones that we weren't able to accomplish and shit. You know what I mean? Like
right.
My son graduated this year. I didn't graduate. I didn't come fucking nowhere close. I actually got my GED when I was locked up and shit. And I look at him and I see where he's going. I see that he's like right where he's supposed to be in life at the time. You know, at the time that he's supposed to be, it's big. You know what I mean? I feel that, and congratulations to her, to many more blessings and more opportunities to her.
Yes.
Shit,
congratulations to your son. That is, like, people think graduating high school is not a big deal. That's a big ass fucking deal.
I think it's a big deal, for real.
I know when my kids graduate, I'm going all out. I'm that mama. Everybody gonna know my kids graduated.
Real talk. and you know, like, the reason why it's not emphasized a lot is because we're so used to people not graduating.
Right.
I think it used to be the other way around. When we were younger, I think the vibe was more like, you know, it was more people graduating, or at least they gave the sense, our parents gave us the sense that it was. And, you know, it kind of also made us feel like we're the fuck-ups, too, you know what I'm saying, when the shit didn't happen, you know. But, you know, we can't blame them. They were just shooting high for us, you know what I mean? They wanted us to win, you know. They're parenting the only way. You ever notice how, like, the old school parenting is just a lot more, it's just a lot more potent. Like, I don't know how to explain, like, the way that the things were, you know, they were a lot stricter, and there was a lot, I don't know if it was because it was simpler times or what, but it's just different. Like,
I think I'm an old school parent.
I am to a certain extent too, but there's certain things that I know don't work, and I just refuse to.
I'm hella old school. Like, I'm even old school in dating. I'm just overall, I'm old school. Like, yes, you need to ask me if I want to be your woman. I'm the girl where you better ask me if you want me to wear your Letterman jacket. Otherwise, I don't know what the fuck we doing.
Oh shit.
When it come to my kids, like
fucking Ann on her grease shit.
They don't. My kids, like, they don't. I don't let them play certain video games. They can't watch certain movies. They can't go on YouTube. It's not that most people feel like my kids, they act too young. They act younger than their age. But I just feel like as a parent, it is my responsibility to protect a certain level of innocence. I don't want my kids feeling like, oh, fuck the police. Like, what?
Yeah, no,
they shouldn't be saying that.
I think you're right, because there's a balance between your kids being sheltered and being exposed to things at the right time for when it's appropriate. Like, I don't believe in exposing the kids to too much stuff too soon, because you want to let them be a kid for a while. You want them to let them have a childhood. You don't want them to be out here being hella young, and too fast or knowing too much and just having like a jaded outlook. Because, you know, when you're a kid, especially when you're going into your teenage years, you kind of already look at life like, you know, questioning everything. And it's like you don't want to pour more on their head that you don't have to. And at the same time, you don't really want to fucking keep them in the dark to where that they do go around somebody and it's a bad influence and they don't know because they're gullible. You feel me? It's like it's a balance. Because I feel what you're saying. As my son too, I try to let him be let him have his childhood as much as he could.
Right.
And then as he started to learn things and ask about things, the best thing that I could do is be honest with him about it.
Man, listen, now when I tell you, my kids are very much aware. Like, I'm very honest with them. I'm probably a little bit too honest about shit. But I do feel like at the same time, I don't like, my kids will tell you, a scary movie come on, they will walk out the room. Because they know, I don't give a fuck what they do at somebody else's house. I told you what my rule is, and I will still whoop your ass. So either you follow my instructions or you potentially get your ass whooped. I don't care which one you pick. It's your business.
Yeah, you got, at least you got a choice. At least you got a choice and shit. But no, you right because it's all about, you know, I mean, I'm the firm believer that I don't like to tell people how to raise their kids. I may not agree with it, but I would never sit there and try to tell somebody how to raise their kids, especially if what they're doing is working.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
To
like,
me,
just because I don't agree with it, but if it works for you, because everybody's different, I can't really. There's no room for me to tell anybody how they should raise their kids. You know what I mean?
To a certain degree. I don't care what nobody says. Some stuff I'm hella judgmental on. I mean,
we are, but what I'm saying is there's a difference. Like I said, if I don't agree with that shit and I don't like that shit, I'm not gonna tell you how to live your life and raise your child. As long as you're not harming them, you feel me? I don't have to agree with them, but as long as you're not harming your child and it works for you, then more power to you. But now, if I see that it's kind of whack and it's not good, then, you know, if I'm your real friend, I could be honest with you. But I'm not going to tell you still. I'll be like, hey, have you ever tried this? Or, you know, well, maybe this is how they feel. Like, I try to give them a different perspective without telling them. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like this, right? And this is my theory across the board with life. I feel like you setting somebody up for failure by not being honest with them. So, and what I mean when I say that is if I see you doing something, I don't like it when it comes to the parent. Like, even... Okay, so for example, the other day I was on Sycamore and I was at that little quick stop at the bottom, and there was a girl there and she had a son hella bad. He's like, fuck you, bitch, like all kind of weird shit. And I'm like, oh my God, I felt it's not my business and I don't know her, but I did feel moved to be like, hey, I have a question because it's 10:30 at night. You don't feel like that baby need a curfew? He should go to bed. Now, granted, is it my place? No, it's not really. But I feel like I'm setting you up for failure to have you think that I'm not judging you for how you actually out here moving, because you're not. It'd be different if you was doing something and making some money. You're not doing anything. You just kicking it. Take your ass home and put your baby in the bed.
No, that's for sure. I mean,
so I'd always voice it. Now if you choose not to take the advice, that's your business.
That's true.
But I definitely feel like I never want nobody to feel uncomfortable telling me if I'm doing something wrong. And I don't even want to foster friendships where I can't be honest with you and be like, hey, so I just want you to look from this perspective.
No, yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, you totally saying what I'm saying, because I ain't gonna do that to a stranger unless the stranger's like whooping that child's ass or some crazy, like, out of pocket, like, where she's beating the shit out or something, you know what I mean? But my folks, I'm gonna be like, hey, well, maybe this, maybe that, you know what I mean? Try to give them some perspective to see, because if I don't like it, I'm be like, yo, bro, that shit's, you know, I'm gonna tell them because you my friend. If I feel like I could come to you, because some people, you might as well, let's face it, we all know somebody, as soon as you tell them something, you might as well just say, I ain't gonna talk to you for a while, because they gonna take it all the way to the wrong fucking extent, and they probably ain't gonna fuck with you for a minute.
They be taking it to outer space, and you be like, bro,
and putting dubs
back
on it and shit. It's like, come on. And so, you know, I think it's just all based on the person and the situation, but I will say something, but I'm not here to, like I said, if it works, and maybe it's not how I would do things, but it's working, then I can't tell people how to raise their kids, you know what I'm saying? I could tell them, if it's out of pocket, how to raise your fucking kid, like, hey, get your kid, he acting up, or when they're letting their kids run around and touch everything and destroy stuff, it's like, come on, grab your child. You see your kid, I get it, you're at home, your kid's a free spirit, you let him run around, do whatever you want, that's fine, but, you know, we were taught with respect. I know you grew up with respect, so if you see your kid tearing another person's house up, don't just sit there and look like, this is what he doing at home and shit. Like, nah, you don't get your kid, man, for real.
People don't get that option with me. You come to my house, it's fair game. Like I said,
Oh,
like I told you earlier, you come to I still to this day, my kids, when I show up to the school and I got on a hoodie, they already know. They be like, ooh, they mama about to whoop somebody, because they know I keep a belt in my pocket. So
there's a difference between Ann and Hoodie Ann.
Man, Hoodie Ann, they know somebody done fucked up, and I'm coming up here and listen. No, thank you.
Hey, you know what? Don't be over here capping for me, because you know what? She came in here talking about, like, you know what? I've been smoking the past couple of days, and I feel like I'm a lightweight smoker now. And I'm like, all right, we gonna see. And I try to pass it to her.
But there's so many questions. Like, is that, because listen, the indica one, bruh, I'll be asleep. You wake me up tomorrow.
Oh, you definitely don't want this then.
Because the indica one, I swear to God, I woke up like 10 hours later. I was hella refreshed though. It was the best sleep I had ever had.
Yeah, some will have you feeling groggy depending on what you consume, and some will have you feeling refreshed. And you definitely don't want this, because this is a joint with cold water hash in it. So
I don't even know what that is.
Hash is just a product that they make out of the THC, the pure THC from the plants. They kind of like drain the plants and collect it. It's a whole process. I can sit here and get my motherfucking Bill Nye the Science Guy on, but I don't think I'd properly do it any justice to explain it. So I'm gonna go ahead and go take this to the neck, because I definitely don't got a problem with that.
Well, yeah, because otherwise I just need a blanket. I'm gonna sleep right here. And when it's time for me to leave.
No Invite Podcast, we strive to give you the very best in podcasting. And I wanted to address it because since we're on the intro anyways. Last week, like I was saying on the podcast, I cut it short because I feel like my performance wasn't up to par with the whole situation. And I feel like there's this is a question I was going to ask you going back to when we were talking about. There's been a question raised about being honest and brutally honest, and the differences is brutally honest and between honesty and brutally honesty is because brutally honesty is kind of, it hurts people. You could be honest with somebody and not hurt them. And you could be honest with them in the way you say it and hurt them. You dig what I'm saying?
But isn't that based on the receiver?
It is based on the receiver, but it's not just based on the receiver. It's just based on the delivery.
True.
You know what I mean? Because I'm the type of person, you could damn near get anything you want from me. It's just how you ask me. You don't have to kiss my ass, but don't ask me with an attitude, or don't ask me a certain kind of way. You know what I mean? Because
right.
You for sure gonna kill the whole thing. But if you're sincere. You're righteous. I dig that. I pick them vibes up. So when somebody's being sincere and somebody's being, they could pretty much come to me with about anything. I'm an open-minded person. You could talk to me and tell me if I'm not up to par. And that's what kind of a reason why I'm bringing this shit up is because, like, I chalked it last week's episode and we recorded it based solely on my performance. Mm-hmm. The fact that I wasn't prepared, that the minute of, the hour of, I was barely looking up topics. I don't feel that's satisfactory, and I don't feel like that's good. A good example that I'm setting for you, because you're just getting into the podcasting thing, so you're learning. I need to be more on par with what I'm doing to make sure that I lead by example. I've been doing this. I should know better than to not be ready. That's why I was like, fuck. At the same time, it's my responsibility to be consistent with our audience. And I knew that I was like, I got to give them something this week. Right. So I went and I did some reading and I did Google some shit and did some research and came back with the episode that I did and try to give them something because, podcasting is an investment. It's like when you get a good show on Netflix. You want what's happening next week? What's the next episode? What's going on? So I know I'm that way. So I strive to give people what I love out of the podcasting experience.
I would say the difference between... Honestly, the way I look at it is the difference between being brutally honest and honest is literally East Coast and West Coast. So on the East Coast, when they talk, they don't really have a filter. They literally just say what it is. Just say what it is. Whereas on the West Coast, I feel like we have much more of a filter, and we're always trying to consider someone's feelings. Depending on the conversation, we can't always consider people's feelings. So like when you told me about the thing, it actually made me go back and think about, how did I actually prepare? Did I prepare 5 minutes before? Did I prepare 10 minutes before? Did I have stuff from a week earlier? And to me, that's just showing good work ethic.
Yeah,
so
but you know the difference between be like, hey, and guess what? That fucking episode sounded like shit.
But if that's what it is, then that's what it is.
But it didn't though. But I'm saying though, like, even then, I mean, like that there's, like I said, there's a way of saying things where, like, you're right. Some people are tougher than others. Like, some people come to me and tell me straight up, be flat, dead out, honest. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I'm always taking consideration. But like I said, that from what they're saying is that. And that's kind of why I bring it up, why even it's tied into this topic, is because I need you to also be that. when we're here and we're not on our shit, or you see me especially not on my shit, I need you to be able to be free to be like, hey, you need to be prepared, or if you need to shut me up if I'm ranting and talking too much, or if you need to take the motherfucking wheel and drive the podcast, and I need that from you. And I know that's gonna come with time, but just know the reason why I cut it off was based on that, was because I knew I didn't give my best, and I know I could do better. And I'm not going to be sitting here half-assed doing anything with anybody, because I'm not only am I wasting my time, but I'm definitely wasting your time if I'm half-assing anything.
Right.
And that's how I felt like with last week's episode.
Well,
this week,
I appreciate that.
All right.
I definitely appreciate that. I personally, I mean, now that I know, I can tell you the truth.
Yes, you could be.
I will.
I appreciate it, and I expect it because.
But honestly, I don't even feel like that was just 100% you. I feel like both of us, on some level,
but see, that's the thing.
Better,
and that's what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, I set the tone because I'm already been doing this. I've been doing it. I'm bringing you in, and as me bringing you into something that I've already been doing, I need to make sure that I give you. You know what I'm saying? The best example possible. Right. I can't sit here at half-ass shit, bring you along, and then what kind of standard are we having for what we doing? Right. If I'm teaching you the low end standard, you dig what I'm saying? I feel
it. So but I also, at the same time, I wouldn't say it's 100% you, because with me feeling that way, I still feel like at the end of the day, the only reason why you picked me is because you expect me to be professional. You have you've already set a tone for your expectation. So on some level, I still blame myself. Like, ooh, I could have came better. I could have came more correct. I could have been more personable. I could have been more fun.
I think when we talk, see, the thing is, and I told you this is gonna come with time. Like when we have these conversations off mic, you're like totally natural. You're at ease, and I get to actually see your real personality, and it's hard to translate that on a podcast. Because it feels like we're on and we're performing, right? But at the same time, if we could find a way to get that to get you comfortable enough to actually be who you are, that I know that from talking, then I know that you're. That's when you'll be.
My liquor.
Yeah, exactly. Why you think there's shots over here all the time? I'm like, bro, you ready for some shots?
Let me take another sip.
But you know that does help a lot, though. That's why you ever listen to the Drink Champs podcast with Noriega?
Yes.
That's why they're so successful, though.
He be having me hollering sometimes.
He's hilarious, bro. Like,
I be like, yo, you out of line, but you're hella funny.
One of my favorite podcasts, and because you know what makes him, and this is what I think the interest in podcasts are, especially for me, is that when you get to hear people and their real personality, then you kind of feel like you know them even more, and and in some way it's like one of your friends that you see something in them that's like, damn, he acts just like my fucking homeboy that be hella crazy and saying the craziest shit, and it kind of like brings celebrities and just other people that in general, it gives them it gives them an opportunity to really see them. You see a motherfucker walking down the street, you don't know them, you might say hi and bye, but you don't know what kind of conversation they got. Are they funny or this? I feel like podcasts are a way to show the people that, and actually keep them in tune.
Yeah, and I do know, like, I'm not gonna lie. On some level, I try to make sure that I still keep a certain level of professionalism, mm-hmm. and I think that's kind of where I need to. There's just a balance that I feel like at this point I have not quite learned. Cause I'm not gonna lie, my mouth is reckless. Like, I literally, I talk about all kind of shit. Like,
yeah. Well, we gotta remember to always use restraint and because I'm a firm believer. It's like I give people a slice of my personality so they know who I am, on this podcast and my outlooks and shit. But at the same time, I'm not gonna don't get it fucked up. You're not gonna walk up to me on the street and just talk to me any kind of way because you think you know me from the podcast. Like, there's a lot too that comes, that comes with it. I do this so that people could relate to me on some level. You feel what I'm saying? I do this so we could all because like I said, podcasts are important because now it's everyday people's perspective matters more. People are tired of the fake, phony responses on TV by celebrities and stuff like that. All the shit that's scripted and fake. People want to hear some real shit. People want to hear shit. Exactly. People want to hear things from people that they feel they know, like I said, like Noriega reminds me of my homeboy that's hella funny and always got jokes and shit.
Right.
It's like that's the kind of side you want to see of other people if you're looking at entertainment or whatever the case might be, or podcast. You want to get some of that personality. You're tired of that fake formal news anchor fucking shit. You know what I'm saying? Like people are done with that. They want real. They're tired of these news. They don't know what to believe no more. So podcasting to me, remember we were talking with Janetti, it was like that's why podcasting is so important nowadays too, because we are kind of like the new news. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always have to be exactly factually accurate, but it's still the forefront of what people think.
Right.
In the culture or whatever it is that you're interested in.
I like podcasting because I feel like it is the culture being represented by people who genuinely live the culture. Not people who have read about the culture or know the theory of the culture, but people who really like out here grinding and learning this shit and doing it every day.
Yeah, that's the example, and that's what I mean by when we were talking about the police brutality situation. I was like, yo, it's different when you're somebody that's actually experienced it as opposed to somebody that just sees videos of it on Instagram, on social media, and then commentates on it.
Right.
You dig what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they're not entitled to their opinion or their what's it called, but that's just one perspective in the many of the whole situation of the whole thing this we call life, I guess you could say, because there's so much involved in it. So now, podcasting the shit, I ain't gonna lie, once it starts paying me, I'm gonna act real brand new. Because, you know, if you want to know how I really feel, you're gonna have to listen to the podcast. Because after I get my first big podcasting check, I'm going Hollywood and I ain't talking to nobody.
I tell everybody, like, don't try to be my friend once I get on. I tell everybody that about me having surgery though. Like once I have my surgery, nigga, don't talk to me. You didn't want me when I was fat. Don't want me when I'm a baddie running around here.
Yeah. But nah, you know what I'm saying? Like I hate to act like that, but I mean, I'm not gonna act like that with my real folks. But we know we talking about the people that are gonna try to turn around.
Why do you hate to act like that? Why?
I hate to act like that. No, I'm gonna rephrase that. I hate to act like that with anybody I know unless they make me. And we kind of has to do with our main topic, so I won't expose too much on that. But like anybody else, it's like fuck it. It is what it is. I just hate only to be like that with people that I know that are in my life, that you're my folks and we should be good. You know what I'm saying? But because you know jealousy and success and all the shit that comes with it. There's always, you know, if you don't have strong ties with people, it could break you apart. It could separate you. And I think it should, if that's the case, because everybody's going in a different direction. You do what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie. Like even during COVID, I've lost like 3 of my like day ones.
I believe
like day ones. Like the mother to my godchildren, I don't even talk to her no more. It's crazy. Like I've lost literally some really good friends, but I do also feel like as we get older, as we progress, like at the end of the day, there's no more celebrating failure, and that's what motherfuckers is doing. Going to these local places, doing this local shit, and still like spending more money than you make, not actually trying to progress. I don't want to do that shit no more. So if you're not on the way, you in the way, and if you in the way, I'ma literally move your ass the fuck up out of my way. I just say, you know, this friendship has run its course.
Yeah, I know, I get that totally. I mean, you have to, you can't. Sometimes your day ones are still stuck on like day 36. You dig what I'm saying? So it's like,
why are we still talking about high school?
Yeah, why are you still doing this shit that you're doing that you've been doing for? Why are you not taking care of your responsibilities? Like, where your kids at and shit? Like, you know what I mean? Shit like that.
Or even simple stuff like, yeah, you taking care of your responsibilities, but okay, so like, it goes into the main topic. If your income bracket is not putting you in a position to live better, why am I wrong? Because I desire to live better and I'm working towards it.
I don't think you are.
But some people feel that way. Like, ooh, she act like she hella bougie. I'm like,
I think that's just more a reflection of how they feel about themselves and where they're currently living, because everybody want to be rich. Everybody want to have everything that they ever want and stuff, but not everybody wants to work for that type of shit. So I feel like, to me, like, I can't even fuck with nobody that's in that kind of frame of mind. If I hear them even talking about somebody else around me like that, I'm just not gonna fuck with you, because you should be, first of all, you should be happy for your folks, them trying to do anything new, trying to live out a dream, trying to start a business. You should, at the very least, you should be happy for your folks. You know, and that's good enough. But if they're your friends, then you support them. You know what I'm saying? If they really fuck with you, your inner circle, y'all support each other.
Man,
you dig what I'm saying? And see, that's the difference. If like I said, anybody that's still on that mentality or thinking about it like that, we're just not on the same vibe anymore. If we're evolving as this life goes on, I'm thinking in a different state of mind than you are at this time. Not saying that you won't make it there, but at this present moment, you're not what I need around me, and you need to. If you're not willing to be open enough to get some direction, to be happy for your folks and shit like that, like, cause I could be friends with somebody and they're not in the same mind state as me. We could still be cool and hang out. They could be completely happy with what they got going on, and as long as there's no hate, and as long as there's no bitterness or shade to what I'm doing, then we could still be cool. You feel me? Because everybody doesn't aspire for everything that everyone else does. But it's when, like how you said, when they see you striving and aspiring to do stuff and be greater in life and have greater things, and they got an issue because of, you don't come around no more, or you don't do this, or you look at you being bougie, or you think you're hella fucking too good now. It's like, nah, that ain't even it. If that's their own thought process being projected on you, I feel like.
So remember you was talking about being honest and brutally honest?
Yeah.
This is where I become brutally honest, because
that's
my
what I'm
response
saying.
to somebody would be like, well, bitch, it's not my fault that you like celebrating failure. I don't want to do that no more.
And that's what I'm saying, though. There's a difference. There's brutal honesty is meant to also hurt the person, is from what they were saying. There was a debate going on. It's brutal. There's between regular honesty and brutal honesty. And actually, when I went to college, because I did after I came home, I went to college for a few years and I got a little bit of education, y'all. You know, I try so that when they look at my record, they just don't see all the bad shit. There's a couple little good things on the other column next to it. But I went there and they taught us about the same thing, because it was a trip. It was a dope class. I really don't remember what it was called, because it was one class, but it was with this whole theme we were being taught and how to make teams. And what we did is we did psychological surveys to find out what we're good at, as far as like, are you more of a vocal, outgoing person? You're not so much organized, but you're more out in the forefront to get the message out. Okay, then we got somebody that likes to be organized and they specialize and they like to do that, and they're maybe not a great orator, but they're great at gathering facts and gathering. You dig what I'm saying? So
right.
it all psychologically tested everybody, and at the end we had to pick our teams based on what was best for your team. What do you need? We need somebody that's organized and real factual. We need somebody that's more of an orator and somebody that's the outgoing, the voice, the mouthpiece, whatever. Then we need somebody else that's more of the fucking, the other components to a good team. So, anyways, long story short, though, the whole thing was we learned about honesty and brutal honesty, and brutal honesty is meant to hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you could talk to your daughter one way and be honest with her, but you don't gotta say it to where it hurt her feelings, right?
I think some of that, though, is...
No, because these are children now. These are children now.
Oh, but my kids know. Like, listen, if you talk to my kids right now, and let's say they sitting on this couch and they keep jumping off, all I would say is, so tell him who's going to the hospital. And they will look at you and say, nobody, because my mom does not go to the hospital for self-inflicted problems. Yeah. Like, so if you fall down and bump your head, you better get a towel.
But that's okay, because that's not meant to hurt. That's more discipline. I'm talking about hurting feelings, like hurting the person.
But see, sometimes I feel like in order to get to the core, so here's where the problem come in, right? Yeah. When you talk to someone, you can say something like, have you ever said something and you said it in a nice way, you wanted them to understand, but for whatever reason they still didn't catch your point? Yeah. And then you say it again and you thinking, okay, I'm gonna say it a little different. Like, okay, well, I don't think you're getting it. And then they still don't get it. It's like, listen, bitch, I don't want to sit around your motherfucking ass. You fucking boring. I don't like it. I don't want to do it no more.
No, we're not talking about the kids, right? Or are you talking about just
I'm kids, adults, whoever. Like, I feel like...
Okay, I'll just ask you.
Well, I feel like when you're talking to someone, it's the delivery is very important. Yes. But also the person and how they receive the message is very important, because if we had like this, we see this cord right here.
Yeah.
If I see the cord as, oh my God, that cord just jumped out of nowhere and I tripped over it, but you see this, man, this nigga saw that cord and it was sitting right there. I don't know why she acting like she didn't see it and she gonna try to trip in here. I ain't giving you no insurance. Like, it's still the same thing, but people see it differently. The other thing is, I feel like on the West Coast, people who are born and raised on the West Coast. No, because I'm so serious. Again. When I go to the East Coast, I feel like they just give it to you raw nugget. Or people that are...
It would be considered rude, but it's really not, because it's really
not,
just...
It's just the truth.
Direct. Well, see, that's another thing. See, there's a lot of people misconstrued being rude with being direct.
Yes. And see, that's where I feel like a lot of people say I have a bad attitude and that I talk to people crazy. No, I don't. But if I'm like, if you be like, girl, how do this look? And I be like, ugh, that's hella ugly. I don't like it. Yeah. You can still wear it. Yeah. You may like it. But I don't like it.
I don't like when people ask questions that they don't want to get answers to, because it's like, if you're asking me to tell you what you want to hear, then just don't ask me, because what I feel really doesn't matter. You're looking for a hype man. Yeah, but if you really want, don't ask me unless you want to. And like I said, there's brutal honesty though. It could be like, oh, that shit don't look good, bro. And it could be like, man, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you stupid?
That's why I said delivery matters. Like, now I only feel like I'm gonna get disrespectful if I have a 2 warning rule. Yeah. If I say it the first and second time and I've been like trying to be tactful, try to have couth when I speak. No, and you still act like it, and I gotta say it a third time, and I swear my son is the same way. By that third time, you getting it however the fuck it come out of my mouth. Like, listen, stop talking to me about this, because this is not a conversation we having again.
No, I totally get it, yeah. And you know what?
But on the West Coast, y'all are hella sensitive. We are hella sensitive. And I can't even say y'all, because I'm hella sensitive. Like, people that know me, like, I wear my heart on my sleeves.
I think the difference is that we just have different... we have different standards on respect and disrespect is what it is. And it doesn't mean that one is more disrespectful than the other. They're just viewed differently. What somebody views disrespectful over there, it's just whatever. You do what I'm saying? Right. And that doesn't mean that over there you're getting disrespected. It just means that we see it differently. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like for instance, me, I know if I go to New York or wherever, so I visit to another state with a whole nother culture, I'm gonna be more observant than I am gonna be of taking shit personal, because I don't know the get down and the function. Now, there's certain things that are there's disrespect on a universal level. I don't give a fuck where you from. That just ain't happening. But for the most part, you're going to observe and watch. And if you're an open mind person, you're going to be like, okay, this is how they move out here. I got to understand how things move out here, so that I'm not thinking. It's different from if I'm from the West Coast and I know that some shit on the West Coast is disrespectful, and I go out to another place and they don't really see it that way, then I'm going to give some perspective, and I'm going to try to learn something and see if it's true or if it's just out of pocket. But now, if I'm at the West Coast and I'm with a West Coast motherfucker and he know that shit ain't cool and that shit don't fly, then it's a different thing. Then we got a problem. Because don't get to New York and start acting wild, motherfucker. You still from where you from, and you know where you were raised, and you know what time it is.
I just feel like in like specifically California, but on the West Coast, we just try to coddle everybody's feelings. But by us doing that, it has created, like, for example, when you look online, right, and you see all these wild ass stories, you see the Karens, you see the this. Karens. A lot of the Karens, if you notice, they are on the West Coast. They have this level of entitlement. Nah,
they're everywhere, bro.
They are everywhere. But a lot of the ones that have gone viral.
I've seen from the South, though. I've seen hella.
So they're from the West Coast. I will say they're from down south and Florida. I don't know what the fuck be going on in Florida.
Florida's a different planet.
Florida is just like, I don't even know if Florida should be a part of the United States. Like, they need to be an island of their own. It got to be. We know what? That's the thing about the United States. We got to have a little bit of everything. That's what makes us so potent. But look, just for the record, though, since we're talking about it, we're going to keep it moving. But I'm not one of those people that feel like brutal honesty is a bad thing, by the way. I was just bringing up the whole debate because people were talking about that shit online. And I'm the type of person that the person in the circumstance will dictate the response. So if you're an asshole and you're talking like an asshole, you're gonna get responded to in an asshole manner. And the way I deal with things, asshole like might be different than I'm matching energy, but I'm also very conscious, aware of manipulation. So I won't let nobody bait me into something. You know what I'm saying? I know people. If it involves my kids, they will.
That's different. I mean, in a lot of ways, anything that involves your kids is always it's always gonna be a way to pull you in.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? No matter what, it's always gonna be a trigger for us because we're parents. Our number one job is to protect. That's neither here nor there. Like I said, don't get socked in your face when you see me trying to play me close. But anyways, look, this is the No Invite podcast. We're going to keep it moving. We're going to jump into that spot. That was the longest intro ever. We're going to jump into our topics. We're going to jump into that here and now when we talk about current events and things that are going on. And before we go and do anything else, I talked about it a couple podcasts ago because you know that the internet is dead ass wrong, by the way. But I want to say rest in peace to Biz Markee, hip hop legend. Died I believe at age 57 due to diabetic complications. He's had strokes in the past couple months, and that's due to also I believe the strain on his body because of diabetes, and he finally passed away. The reason why I say that the internet is out of pocket because 3 weeks ago they reported him dead, and his family had to actually get online and say he's not dead, but he's not doing good. So just imagine your family relatives in the hospital sick, you know, battling something, and you go and fucking scroll through the gram and try to get your mind off it, you know what I'm saying, and look at something and they talking about he dead and shit.
Bro, that's the reason why I said the internet be having life and bullshit twisted. On God. It's a fucked up situation. Like I said, the way I found out my husband was dead was because Janetti sent me a Instagram post. Like, that shit is weird. Like, why are y'all even talking about that? That shit is weird as fuck. Like, why would you call somebody dead for clickbait?
The thing is,
that's all you doing.
And not even that though. I also look at it like people don't understand. Is like people are too invested into this internet generation shit to where it's like yo, like we kind of in a sense we lose our humanity in a sense because we don't consider these things as like we should.
Right. We're not considering the family. We're not considering his kids. We're not considering his wife. You're not considering nobody.
And see, the thing is and this is the problem, and this is another thing that I talked about on the internet, and I've said it on the podcast before. I said a PSA. It's like it's the same thing when you see these kids and these grown ass people on the internet with their guns, showing all their guns and their this and that. They're mistaking people that live in what's it called? States where you could afford and buy assault rifles and guns and have legal carries. They're mistaking those people for people for somebody that they could copy, not realizing that that's the laws over there. They're okay to do that shit. They're not going to get in trouble. Yo ass out here in California where it's not that kind of thing. And not only that, you're not even carrying your real fucking firearms. You're carrying whatever fucking one you got from who the fuck knows where. It's like, come on now, you asking to get yourself in trouble. See, people confuse things. They see things and like, oh, I was always told this. Just because you see somebody else doing it, don't mean it's okay. And don't mean that you should do it.
Facts.
You dig what I'm saying? So just because you see the motherfucker driving drunk and this and that and out of pocket and drinking, blacking out and driving and they ain't got in trouble yet, that don't mean that it's okay for you to do it.
And that don't mean you ain't gonna get caught.
And that don't mean you ain't gonna get caught. So that's the only thing, and we talked about the common sense and all that, and it's like when it all boils down to it, rest in peace, Biz Markee, and please, y'all, for the love of fucking anything, stop running with whatever you fucking hear and just plastering out there. Unfortunately, we can't do nothing about it because as long as the internet lives and there's an audience, people are gonna show out and show out. It's like every fucking class clown in the world now has access to you know how it goes. I was a class clown once, you know what I mean? Get all the attention, talk shit, get kicked out of class, the whole thing, you know what I mean? Now everybody that got an Instagram could do that. Every class clown got. So you know what I mean? It's gonna be a lot of bullshit. But
hey, you know something crazy? I didn't realize how many shows and movies Biz Markee was in. When I was looking that shit up, I was like, damn.
He's a lot.
I didn't know you was in Yo Gabba Gabba. Like, that's fucking crazy.
He was a fixture. He did a lot of DJing and a lot of like the older cats from his generation that are still making money is by doing stuff like that. But he was unique though because his voices, and he's always had like different type. He was always able to make voices. His beatboxing skills were legendary. I remember a lot. Like I said, I wasn't a super Biz Markee fan, but like growing up, I remember the Vapors, Just a Friend. You know those songs. I remember them songs being on the radio and you know, and I've also listened to music over time sample these songs, and other artists use these songs, like the Vapors for sure been sampled hella times.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it is.
I'm almost positive wasn't Just a Friend like one of his biggest songs.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the biggest ones, right?
One of his biggest songs. It's still a bop today. People have remade it. Mario did a cover of it. Where he's singing.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
that shit? So
see, that's what I'm saying. You don't realize how much he done actually touched until you, like, when I was looking through his catalog and I was looking at all the movies that he done been in or shows, and I was like, damn, I done watched all those shows, and I know that he was in it. Like, okay, the Men in Black. I think it was like the second or third one when he was going back and forth beatboxing with Will Smith, and I was like, I knew it was him, but it didn't really register to me that it was him.
And what's funny is that he is from Will Smith's generation, so they're doing while they're doing that, they're definitely from the same era, and they know about each other, and they know about the beatboxing and the whole sound and everything.
It's a whole shebang.
No, it's one of those things that he's been around so long that even people that don't know hip hop know him for something or another. Like you said, Yo Gabba Gabba and fucking, I'm sure the Men in Black movies and shit like that. So. Shout out to him, peace to his family, you know what I mean? You know, we don't like to hear about anybody passing, whether it's a famous celebrity or, you know, one of our folks or peoples that we know. So, you know, all we could do is send out good vibes to the family and continue to, you know, really, I'm hoping that his family owns the catalog to his music or whoever his relatives are. I'm hoping that...
when he actually... His generation, remember, a lot of them didn't own their own their catalog.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know, but definitely like their generation was when they were starting to own. I mean, I haven't done the research.
No, I'm totally in agreement with that because a lot of people like De La Soul right now doesn't even own their catalog. You know that?
Which is crazy.
And it's the same thing because they signed terrible deals back then. And you got to remember when rap first started getting record sales, like first started getting people signed, if you didn't know about the industry to begin with, and it's kind of the same thing now, but if you didn't know about the industry, you're getting screwed for sure because it was a whole new genre, so there really was no template on what to pay them or how much. So these record companies back in the day, they were like the mob.
Winning.
They're ruthless, yo, and it get deep. Like we could do a whole podcast just on that shit. But you know what I mean? Hopefully his family owns his stuff. Hopefully he owned it, whatever he can own it. And that his legacy's for sure. People are always going to remember him for something or another.
You know, in all honesty,
he's done a lot of different things. So
even if his family don't own it, his level of support within the community is so strong.
They're going to keep him lit.
They going to make sure that his family is good.
Yeah, they should. I know he when you're good people, bro, just remember when you're good people, that shit comes back to you. You know what I mean? And you're not being good because you want something to come back to you. You're being good out of the genuinely out of your own heart, and that's what that's the payback, that's the good, what they say, karma and shit, you know what I mean? So rest in peace to them. We're gonna keep it moving. We got another topic. So I know you know that well, I don't know how much you follow it, but the whole Olympics, I know you've been hearing everything that's been going on with that and fucking, you know, this, that, and the other. I just want to touch on this real quick. I kind of feel like well, first of all, the Olympics are happening in Japan right now. There's been protests in Japan. The people out there like, why the fuck are we having the Olympics when the numbers of COVID are starting to spike up over there and all over the world, apparently, you know what I mean? And we've talked about it so much in this fucking podcast that we're going to keep it moving, but I just wanted to ask a couple questions and tell me what you think about it. They're protesting Olympic Village. One of the workers there at the Olympic Village apparently already got diagnosed with COVID. So they're like, what are we doing? I mean, how are we going to stop to prevent the whole, you know, this, that, and the other? And I really feel like, first of all, it's too fucking soon. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like it's too soon?
I have mixed feelings.
You have mixed feelings? Yeah, because look, I mean, at this point,
I know this is gonna sound stupid, so don't judge me for this.
I don't judge, bro.
But I truly feel like, listen, I think the reason why I've never caught COVID is because I like my liquor the way I like my men, straight.
Okay.
And I feel like it's killing the
Doc too. I was gonna be like, yeah, that's right. That's right.
It's killing the COVID going down. But no, in all seriousness, I feel like on one hand, so this is how I feel. Back in the day, like when we was kids, right? We went outside, we played in the dirt, we got sick, we caught germs, we did all that. That's what built our immune system. Right now, people are allowing like TV and video games and all of this to actually raise your children, and they are like, oh, I want to wipe down everything, and they are so afraid
They're
of
in a
germs.
bubble.
Yeah, you're so afraid of germs that you haven't allowed your body to actually build the antibodies necessary for you to actually fight stuff off. So on
You weren't
one
out there
hand,
peeling lead paint off the walls, kid. You weren't out there, you know what I'm saying, playing with asbestos like we
you
were.
feel me?
Young.
Like, y'all wasn't raised in the house where they had mold. Like,
know what I
this
mean?
is regular. But I feel like on one hand, yes, we opened a bit early, but on the other hand, there was no way for us to really know until we actually tested it out. Because even if you keep us in shelter in place, at some point we're going to have to open. And at the point that we open, the possibility of it spiking and us actually figuring shit out is there. So you have to kind of like, it's unfortunate to say, but you have to kind of test the waters, and you have to,
remember there was a big
people.
debate, and they were talking about that. They're like, why are we going to do that and bring everybody else? Like, and a lot of people were saying that, but it's like, you're right though, because the same thing that you're saying, let's say that you're absolutely right? Same thing about everybody being at, all the kids always being home now. They're not out. They're not moving around like they used to. Well, if we shelter in place for too long, it's the same thing too.
Right.
Because we're now doing the same thing.
What about the people that, like, okay, so let's say they're not dying from COVID, but everybody has said that they have gained weight by being in shelter in place. So now you have your diabetes, your obesity increasing, and that creates other health issues. So
and then it also makes you weaker to COVID. And
so now it's almost like you're giving one for the other. So we have to find a way to have a balance and make sure that this is actually going to work out. And unfortunately, sitting in the house and just being a hermit crab, that's not going to work, because then if we sit in the house and we're a hermit crab and we don't talk to nobody else, you're right. Only the people that's within my household is actually going to get it. But then when we open, how is that going to work? And then you also have the kids suffering with school. You have, like, there's just a whole bunch of things. Like, that's why I couldn't understand. They said we need to actually make sure that we're being healthy. Well, part of being healthy, get your ass outside. Be outside and be comfortable with
your air. And they got to
air.
be mentally healthy to be, because like people that are not mentally healthy don't like to be outside.
And you know the suicide rate increased too.
Yeah, and as well as domestic violence and a lot of divorce and all that.
That's because people found out they was in relationships of convenience. Like,
nah, that's because people found out that they don't like the motherfucking person that they thought they liked, and then breaks at work and school actually holding the whole house together. And now that shit turned around.
Wait, hold on. She want to talk to me? I only thought I had to fuck this bitch every so often.
I don't even like kind of movies she watch. I don't like nothing. It's like stuff we can't even agree on the same fucking movie.
I will say I have been blessed during COVID to actually be reintroduced to someone that I genuinely like, but we still don't live together because.
Okay, well shit.
But I have a lot of friends.
Y'all are in but you ain't sheltering in place yet.
Nah, we not sheltering in place, but we enjoying each other's time for the moment.
That's what's up.
Until I change my mind, I'm like, what's that song, Track Star? I'm like that.
Fuck.
She's a runner. She's a track star.
And the best kept secret, she got some. She comes with cleats, y'all. Just so you know, she come with spikes. She gonna run if she has to. But yeah, I think we came back too early. But
the problem is, even though you feel like we came back too early, what would be a good time?
I don't think no, but see, look, this is the thing. I think we came back too early as far as take your mask off. I think the mask should have been something that just stayed. Period.
But LA is back to mandating the mask.
No, I know that, but that's what I'm saying. Look, if they were gonna say, okay, let's open up everything, but the mask mandate stays.
Okay, so listen, can I tell you the truth about how I feel?
How you feel about the mask?
Okay, so like now, right?
If
you go put on your boxers and some jeans, a fart is still gonna get through that. So what makes you think COVID ain't gonna get through the mask?
Well, I think the thing is it was never about the getting through the mask. What it is, it's about us running around contaminating everything, and then somebody else touching it and whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But the only way to learn to fight off germs is to actually be exposed to germs.
I get that.
So I feel like if you have a pre-existing condition, if you have any health issues, most definitely go get vaccinated, go do everything. But even when you get vaccinated, once I found out that the vaccination does not stop you from getting COVID.
Yeah, it just makes it
so that the symptoms are not fatal. Well, that's not a reason for me to do that.
Well, see, this the thing though. I'm not a person. To be honest with you, like I said it before, I don't want to get vaccinated. I'm cool. I'm gonna wait.
No, I'm
wait
not.
till for a couple of years or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know how people feel. Whatever. I might never get it because we might not never need it. But this is the thing that I want you. This is the thing that I just want to throw out there. It's like I feel like first of all, I feel like they honestly still don't really know what they're dealing with.
And that's the point. But like, okay, when MRSA first started, they didn't know what they was dealing with. When the swine flu came, they didn't really know what they were dealing with. The only thing, like, the number one thing that I feel like people forget is the medical industry is trial and error. They practice medicine.
No, yeah,
this
for
is
sure.
all you just practicing on me. And to me, I'm not going to allow you to practice on me and then actually give me some shit that could like even the vaccine, they said it changes your genetic DNA buildup. That's a problem. I don't want to do that. But also, like, I'm one of those people, I don't do a lot of those stuff. Like, vaccinations and none of that. I don't do any of it.
I don't do anything that's absolutely necessary. And to be honest with you, that's why I said the mask thing. It's like, look, the only reason why I say it's like, this is the thing that I wanted to put out there more than anything. And I put it out there before. It's kind of weird. It's like, you tell everybody, get vaccinated. And those that don't get vaccinated ain't got to. But they encourage you to. You tell them that. Everybody that gets vaccinated does. As soon as a majority of the people that you think should have the vaccination do, you tell them, okay, no mask. But what everybody knows, and you know that, and I knew that, and a lot of people really don't, obviously, apparently they don't know, is that you can still get it and it won't be fatal, right?
Right.
So you're still, with no mask, being a spreader now even more, because now you're touching stuff, rubbing your nose. Oh, look, let me go over here, and you dig what I'm saying? Let me pick up this. Oh, let me get some of your chips. Like, nah, motherfucker, like you know what I'm saying?
That's not even counting. You realize, right? Because of HIPAA laws, if I told you right now, yes, I'm vaccinated, you can't ask me to give you my paperwork. Because that is my medical record and that is not your business.
Yeah, no, for
so
sure.
It's almost like, how do you even verify that I'm actually vaccinated or not? You don't have a way.
Saying.
So when they were making these laws, I feel like they were moving from a state of emergency. But somewhere along the lines, they weren't using a certain level of logic that made sense. Because I don't have to give you anything about my medical diagnosis or anything unless I'm going to expose you, unless it's going to be like I cut my hand and you need to know about it. It's blood exposure. I don't have to tell you shit. That's my business. And then the other thing is, like I said, if it's not going to, when they say the numbers are going up, what I haven't seen and I've been looking for is how many vaccinated people are still re-catching COVID.
Oh, well, they just even had, look, check this out. I just seen this article, too. You know that dude, Fluffy, the comedian, stand-up comedian, the Latino dude? Mm-hmm. The Mexican dude, actually, right?
Oh, he's my favorite.
He caught COVID-19, and he was fully vaccinated. And he actually had to go to the doctor for it, that he caught it.
Really?
He felt it. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Look, that's what I said, going back to what I was saying about the whole thing. It's like, you tell these people, take their mask off too early, but now what they're doing is they're really spreading it faster to all the people that are not vaccinated. Right. And if it's really our choice to be vaccinated or not, you're making it extremely impossible by not only removing mask mandates indoors, like, you know, that helps. Like at the grocery store, you know, like I said, people touching their nose, touching this, touching the fucking same thing that I'm touching when I'm through there, shit like that. That counts. It's not a cure because, like you said, we still have to have some level of exposure to it, period. And I agree with that too.
Right.
Like herd immunity, I believe in all that, you know. It's just that the people that are at risk, they should be the ones that are protected. And like I said, don't shame me because I don't want to fucking take a vaccine. Don't make me feel bad because I don't want to fucking be the, like you said, practice on. I'd rather wait, give it a couple years. And if it's real necessary or if I end up having something that requires me to do it, then I will do that. But other than that, I'm living free and reckless out here in this world. Right now, I'm still wearing my mask and all that shit.
So what I will say is I am cognizant of, like, when I go into grocery stores and stuff, I will still wear my mask just because I question if I'm, like, asymptomatic. And I know, like, I have a cousin that's got congestive heart failure.
I be thinking
my
that all the
mother-in-law
time.
got it. So in my head, I still have to make sure that I'm doing what's necessary to protect the other people.
Exactly.
So that's the only reason why I wear my mask. But in real life, like, I don't even take the flu shot. The only year, I swear to God, the only year I took the flu shot, I got the flu. I was 19 years old. Like, oh my God, okay, let me get it. That year, I was down for 10 days. I'm not taking none of y'all experimental bullshit.
I rarely get the flu, put it that way. So why the fuck would I take a flu
But
shot?
that's what I'm saying. Like I said, I ain't been sick in over 5 years.
Me too.
At all. And I go outside, I jump on planes, I do everything.
And the reason why I go back to my mask theory is because since this mask shit started, I definitely ain't caught it, not even a cold, the sniffles, nothing.
Facts. And then I feel like the only reason why people like the common cold and the common flu ain't been killing people is because finally you dirty people are now being clean.
Yeah.
Like they're like, oh, wash your hands.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to catch COVID. Okay,
Yeah.
but you should have been washing your hands anyways.
And
Like,
yeah, exactly.
I just went to the movies last.
Nasty
was
ass
that last
motherfucker.
night? Maybe the night before.
A lot of these motherfuckers don't wash their hands and shit.
A woman literally walked out the bathroom after using the bathroom and did not wash her hands. That's the reason why I'm like, you know what?
I'm saying, man.
I do not fuck with these
that's
people.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's what I mean. Like, that's why the mask shit helps, because it's not gonna stop. We're not saying it's COVID proof, but at least it reduces a lot of it. It'll catch a little piece of phlegm, or at the very least, it keeps you from touching your mouth and your face.
Right.
So it keeps you from actually putting something and spreading it, but not only that, picking something up and putting it in your face. You dig what I'm saying? So I'm for the masks. I'm for people being able to pick for themselves if you want to do it. I'm not gonna tell you don't take it.
I get to walk in a bank with a mask on.
I fucking love it.
I questionably feel like a thug. Like, you know,
you don't know how much satisfaction I get from walking through Walmart and seeing people that I'm not saying we don't fuck with each other, but it would only be awkward small talk about, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to do that, and I just keep it pushing. You know, if you're my real folks, I'm gonna stop and say hi to you. But if I know you through somebody that knows me through somebody, and we might have fucking all been chilling at a party one day, maybe I don't want to stop and conversate with you because there's really not nothing to talk about. So my mask helps me to keep it scared. You know what I'm saying? When I see somebody, I've been in that corner. I mean, was it really him? Are you sure?
But that goes back
I don't think
to
it was me, bro.
Being,
you see me in
being
Walmart.
honest or brutally honest. If you see somebody you really don't fuck with, why not just be like, oh, hi, and keep walking.
Well, with some people, like, that's what I'm saying. It's like I'm not afraid to acknowledge anybody and be like, "What's up, bro? Yeah, what's up?" Keep it moving. But it's the awkward conversation, especially at Walmart. I feel like people, when they see you in Walmart, they feel like they gotta come holler at you about something. It's like, bro, I'm shopping.
Where I feel like I'm
in and out, baby. Let me live. Let me just get up out of here. I'm not trying to fucking, you know what I'm saying?
That's where I feel like I'm brutally honest, because I'll be like, listen,
but that's okay.
I don't want to talk right now.
Like I said, it's all appropriate responses. Like I said, you know what I mean. I'm gonna talk to you with respect, but I'm gonna be dead ass serious about what the fuck.
Is that disrespectful though?
What?
To say I don't want to talk right now?
No, it's not disrespectful. Say, hey, bro, I'll keep it moving. I don't want to talk right now. You know what I mean? It's
Would
like,
you take it disrespectfully?
Nah, I mean, shit. I'm like I said. When I approach people, I try to have a little understanding, because a little understanding goes a long way to it's the deciding factor whether we gonna just keep it moving or it's gonna be a fist fight. So you know what I mean. So for me, I analyze the situation. If I seen you went to call public and you're like, y'all don't want to talk right now, I'll be like, all right, be safe, holla at me. You know what I mean? Unless you were like in danger or something, like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna fucking follow you. If you tell me that, I'm gonna respect that. You dig what I'm saying? And I can't be mad at that, because, like I said, I walk around making sure that I don't know, to make sure I understand that I don't know what everybody's going through. So as long as you're not trying to put your fucking hands on me, you know what I mean, or you're not saying the wrong shit, it's like, whatever. It's gonna take a lot for me to have to do something to you, but when I do something to you, I mean, it is what it is. Just know that I'm not easily provoked. I'm not easily provoked, but when I do something,
So that means if they get you to that point, then that's well deserved.
And it's gonna take a lot to get me there. It's gonna take a lot. Okay, so look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna go ahead and jump off. That was what's it called? Here and Now. You know, where we talk about some recent shit. As you can see, we've been killing it on the podcast. We're gonna go ahead and take a little break, and we'll be back. No Invite Podcast. We're back. Season 2, The Level Up, episode 40. I want to say 42. I want to say, okay, I can say it confidently now. Episode 42. I had to scroll up real quick to make sure that I was on the right seat, on the right show. You know what I'm saying? The No Invite Podcast, the podcast that loves you from a distance. You know what I'm saying? That we show that honest and that brutal, honest love and honesty for you on that ass on this podcast. So don't be mad at us, and don't take what we say straight to the chest, because you know we're being honest. We're saying it out of love. And sometimes you gotta love them from a distance. But we're gonna go ahead and jump into the Put You Up on Game segment of the podcast, and this is basically where we make our announcements, anything that we got going on business wise. You know, me and Ann both strive for betterment and trying to have finer things in life, and it ain't just about material things. Sometimes what I mean by the finer things in life is peace of mind. So just take that however you want to. But this is where we go ahead and drop our little announcements about the things that we're doing. So, Ann, what you got for us?
So the number one thing I wanted to talk about was there's this new spot is downtown Pittsburgh. It's called the Network Event Space, and it's so pretty. So I went to their grand opening. Okay. Super nice. Like the whole space actually looks super dope. They have a downstairs space and then they have an upstairs loft. It's literally a space that you can actually rent out, host events. They have it set up where it's really actually nice. You can do, I feel like you do almost anything there. Even if you had a small wedding, you damn near can do your small reception there.
That's right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And then they have like an upstairs
that's like when you marry the side chick and, you know, like half the family mad at you so they don't want to show up. So it's like, you know, you don't have to have that much space for everybody. But yeah, go ahead.
No, but the space is actually hella
hella half
pretty.
Your family ain't pulling up.
And it's a new space out here. So, you know, a lot of times when we were doing events, we
don't have shit like that out here.
Yeah, they had, what was that, V or 5 Lounge or something?
Oh, you talking about 7 Boutique. That's my partner. Boutique. Shout out Keith, 7 Boutique, Snake, everybody that's from that brand, that organization, bro. They're good people, man.
And they were super dope, but
and they were allowing
it. Shut down.
Bro, they got shut down. They got harassed. I was there plenty of times at their functions where the cops were just sweating people.
Yeah, so now this
peaceful
space,
every time, peaceful event
with no problem. So why are y'all shutting them down?
Problem. But see, you know what though? Things are different now though, and I feel like, you know, the more that we normalize that type of stuff, like with this place, and I know somebody else that got some event space they're putting together out this way, we need more of stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? How are you going to sweat the outlets? You dig what I'm saying? These are outlets for people to actually do things, and most importantly, it's like put into the overall economy out here. It's like I know if I threw an event out here, that's why I want to know about the place. I'm gonna get more from you, because if I threw an event out here, I'm bringing people from other cities to come out here to spend money that's gonna get spent out here in the same economy. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So they're focusing on, you can book an event there. They're having an educational hub. They also are doing like photography lessons. It's called The Network Event Space. It's downtown Pittsburgh. The space is super nice.
You're gonna have to take me over there so
I definitely will. They're also doing something soon. I will get the information for you soon. But they did talk about doing a thing where they were actually having an event where they are helping people like expand their brand. So they're doing like photography if you need that. They're doing different marketing tactics. They're like creating packages to help small businesses actually expand their business.
I was giving like, that's people options.
Dope. Yes. And I'm like,
giving out options, y'all.
That is how it's supposed to be. So that is one thing. My girl Monique, she was the one who told me about it. It's her and her husband, and I believe some other people that's actually running it. But it's super dope, super nice. Like literally, when I say the space is super nice, I'm like, oh, this is kind of fancy, a little upscale on y'all. Okay, I like it. So I definitely will be renting out the space for an event that I will be hosting. That information is TBD. But
hey, as long as they know, that's the most important part. I feel like the more we say these things, because there's going to be some reoccurring ones that I'm constantly saying, and same thing with you, because the thing is to get the message out there. And when you believe in something and you like something,
the one I'm going to,
passing exactly.
I forgot the date, but I have it on my calendar.
I already know. That's the one I'm about to talk. Like I was saying, we're gonna keep saying this shit because it's our spot, it's our space to utilize our platform to plug what the fuck we talking about. And we got a show coming up August 7th. It's a night at the compound, at the Dwayne's Wiggins compound in Oakland, California. It's official. Tickets are going to be available Monday, July 19th. We got executive VIP tables with $450. Comes with 5 seats. And it comes with, of course, also a bottle of your choice of Remy Martin XO or Don Julio 1942. as well as full course meal, fine dining. You know, we're gonna have like large prawns, salmon, chicken or steak, garlic noodles, fully loaded mashed potatoes. The food is gonna be off the chain. So the VIP tables are lit. If you want to come with like a crowd, you're gonna get your meal, you're gonna get champagne, and you're gonna get your bottle of course choice. We also got general admission starting at $25, $20 if you buy early, I believe, on Eventbrite. $25 at the door, $20 on Eventbrite. These tickets go on sale. By the time the podcast drops, they'll be already on sale on Eventbrite. We'll have the link. You can follow me on Instagram at at Blaze2Diz. On Instagram, I'll have the link in my bio so y'all can fucking get the tickets for that shit. We also got August 20th, Las Vegas, Nevada. We out there, RiBirth Entertainment. We're doing it big for the Chico Spitz Circulate record release party.
Yes.
We're gonna be out there for like a week. We're doing it big. We got a whole event space. It's a big, you know, Vegas is different. So when you get spaces out there, it's really like, even if it's not the biggest amphitheater or whatever, but if you get a space, it's a space. It looks like it's club status. You feel me?
I will definitely be there for that too.
You definitely got to swing out there, and we're gonna be out there August 20th. We're gonna try to finish off the summer with a bang. Circulate record release party. OBB half, RiBirth Entertainment recording artist will be in the building, making sure that he's pumping and pushing that project that's coming out. So we out there. The label is doing a lot of moves. Be on the lookout. I'm going to have a lot of more festivals and shows and vending opportunities for different small businesses, you know what I mean, that are willing to come out and come do some networking. The 182A, the album, OBB Half's first official solo album, will be dropping soon. It's on the horizon, so I'm going to keep plugging it like a bad fucking, you know what I mean, like a bad outlet. We going to just keep fucking running it in till we can't no more. I just dropped and re-released my album, Nothing Personal, on United Masters, so go on and check that out, stream that. And that's it, really. We're gonna keep it levitating. We're gonna stay the course. You know, it's you know what I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's all I could say. But that was the put you up on game segment of the No Invite podcast, because we know we got a little format. We're not animals, you know what I'm saying? We got a little bit of direction in what we're trying to do, you know what I mean?
Just a smidgen.
Just a smidgen. And with that being said, in that same fucking breath about we're not being animals, we are also people that like to share the knowledge, and we're gonna go ahead and jump off into that motherfucking PSA, No Invite Podcast PSA. And I know you gotta take the wheel for this one, because I know you know what time it is. You've been itching to say this fucking PSA. So go ahead, Ann. What's the PSA for this week?
The PSA for today is check your motherfucking kids, otherwise
check
your
motherfucking big head little ass babies.
And I'm so fucking serious about that. So the PSA literally stemmed from something that I saw on Instagram. There was a family who was trying to take pictures at the park with their children. It was a black family, and I guess there was a white family there. It was a mother, a father, and two boys. Well, the two boys kept calling the black family like little turds. They need to be flushed down the toilet. They was talking hella shit.
Say some racist shit they probably heard from their daddy.
And I feel like the mama was
because you know
right.
The kids just don't get it out of nowhere.
No, they absolutely don't.
They heard that from somewhere.
And so the kids, the mother ended up going off on the mama. She ended up letting her know, like, bitch, fuck you and your kids. As far as I'm concerned, you raising them to be little racist. You need to actually.
So we say check your kids. We're not talking about like our kids or my kids. We're talking about somebody else to check your kid, like your little badass kid over there, fucking touching everything. You know,
discipline the child that you birthed in this world before I discipline him for you. Because I feel like it does take a village. And
Facts.
Your child needs to learn early on. Like, all that shit that they was doing back in the day, that shit ain't gonna fly today. Your son will get his ass whooped.
They need to learn the word no. Mm-hmm. Like, no. See, the thing is that I agree with you totally 100%. I'm all on board with the fucking PSA. And it's because, yeah, they need to learn no. And when you got them parents that, this is a kid being kid. Like, no, my man. Get your kid, talk to her. Be reasonable with it. Talk to her, baby, and let her know no is no, and no is something that they're gonna have to get used to, because there's no life anywhere where everyone just gets everything they want and says and does and always. And if there is, right. I definitely can't afford it.
See, and the part about that video that pissed me off, because I watched all 13 minutes of it, was the mother who wasn't willing to discipline
Karen.
her child. Mind you, the dad was there and the dad said nothing. He didn't even check this bitchy wit.
Ken.
I was like, ugh. But she started telling the woman, like,
Karen.
get out of my face, otherwise I'm gonna call CPS. But you gonna call CPS on me and I'm the one telling you to discipline your child?
Once again,
I
like
should
I said,
slap your
like
ass.
I said, you know where the kids got that shit from. You know where the kids got that shit. They didn't see it on TV. They weren't at home watching American fucking History X. They seen that shit from their fucking parents, and that's why the fuck they act the way they do. Flat out. So yeah,
Man.
check your kids. Grab your kids.
Y'all better check y'all motherfucking kids, otherwise I'm gonna check them, because I can tell you right now, like I said, when I go to the school, remember I said there's the hoodie version of me, and then there's the real version of me.
Hoodie Ann.
Man, I've had incidences at the school where I remember this little boy, I think he called my son
Hoodie Ann is
retarded or
with all the
something.
business.
Man, my
The
son
shenanigans.
gave him 3 warnings, and after the 3 warnings, he ended up stabbing that little boy with a pencil. When the mama came, oh my God, well, your son, listen, my son gave your son 3 warnings. He told him to stop touching him. Your son kept talking shit and your son kept touching him. My answer to you is teach your child to listen to people when they giving you words. Otherwise, listen. And when mind you, this was when my kids.
Well, in this household, little Ian gets to express himself freely.
And when he expresses himself freely, he needs to understand that for every action, there's a reaction.
We don't say no in my household.
But we say no in the real world. And I will beat his little ass. My son will beat his ass.
Shut
like,
up, bitch.
Listen, if you don't, you better teach little Ian
Yeah.
that just because that happens in the household, the rest of the world don't give a fuck about you the way we give a fuck about you.
Yo.
I even teach my kids that. Like now, I teach my kids like
I'm gonna keep it real with you.
people
That's
don't
how my
care
son
about you
got
the way
into
I
it.
care about you.
When my kid was young, he was in elementary and shit. That's how he got into his first little scuffle with somebody, because the same thing. The
But did
kid
he
was
win?
hella bad. Oh yeah, my son did his shit. So I
then
was
that's all
proud.
that matters.
And but because that's because we preach that defend yourself tactic around here. We're not the passive type. So while you let little Ian just do whatever he wants to everybody, little Ian gonna find out that you just can't do that just to anybody though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, Ian better try to be my baby's friend.
yeah, because you know what
I
I'm saying?
sure know I got my
'Cause,
kids
I'm
in
all
MMA.
for it. I'm cool with Ian as long as Ian ain't fucking with the bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But like my first son, little scuffles, some shit like that. Little kid was bad. Talked to his mom crazy. Their mom would bring him to school functions. She'd be like, "Oh no, don't talk to me like this," and he'd be like, "Shut up, you're dumb," and just just typical. You know what I'm saying? Shit. You know what I'm saying? But
That's when you throw up the W.
yeah, that's when you throw. That's when you throw up that, and that's not all W. It's not worldwide, but it's just like there's just a chosen few over there. That's some shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, but yeah. So, he thought he could just talk to anybody like that. And my son said, I don't like him. You know, he always be trying to talk crazy at school and be talking to people and saying weird shit to people. I was like, look, don't get involved, because he said something to him before, because he was saying something that he didn't agree with. He didn't like. I was like, look, don't get involved unless he's trying to hurt somebody, he's picking on somebody. I'm not going to tell you not. I mean, if you feel like you want to step in and help them, that's on you. You should, because if you can, right? But I was like, just don't feed into it, because people will bait you. Boom. Finally, it landed on him. And one day, my son's walking out of class, and I see the whole shit. This is the funny part about it. I got to actually be there. My kid's walking out the class, and he drops his jacket. And he keeps walking, and I tell him, I'm like, hey, you dropped your jacket. He turns around and looks. He's like, oh, he starts walking back towards it. And that same kid kicked his fucking jacket and started stepping on it and like kicking it off. And my son got hot, and my son teed off on him. Bang, hit him one time. And I'm like,
As he should.
Because like I said, little Ian ain't just going to go ahead and just do whatever the fuck he want without realizing that there's no in the world and there's repercussions in the world. So my son teed off on him, and then he tried to rush my son, and my son gave him another good one, and he started crying. But my son is cool, because my son is not really that type. He's not the aggressive type to begin with, so he was just like, he defended himself, but he picked up his shit and kept it moving. Like, I'm out of here. As he should too, because I didn't want him to get suspended or get caught.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? He did his shit. And see, that little Ian, you know what I'm saying, gonna have to understand that. So that's the PSA then. Check your kids.
Check your kids. Otherwise, if they got crazy mamas like me, I will check you in front of your child to show you. Like, I remember so one of my babies, right? My daughter, she's super duper sweet. She's so non-confrontational. She want to be friends with everybody. There's this little girl, and she kept like blowing her breath in her face, picking on her, whatever. one day I walked up to the school and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this happening? My baby is crying. Like, I don't understand what's going on. The very next day, that little girl, mind you, this is where I say my son, he always taking shit too far. Because the next day, usually what happens is if my daughter is crying, they will take my daughter to my son. When they take my daughter to my son will start cutting up. Man, the next day, a little boy, I think he like lifted her skirt or something.
Oh, yeah.
The whole day, when I say every time that little boy came in my son's peripheral, he was taking off on him. It was to the point that they was like, well, we suspended him. We don't understand why he here. I'm like, listen, he here because y'all shouldn't have suspended him. Y'all should have told these people to leave my fucking baby alone. Then I had to argue with the mother to the little girl because she had my baby crying. I showed up to the school. I got a belt in my pocket and I looked at the little girl like, listen, I pray you understand ass whoopings come in all shapes and sizes, and if your mama don't whoop you, I will.
This is Hoodie Ann, by the way.
Right. And I'm like, if you don't whoop your child, trust and believe I will, because what you will do is leave my baby the fuck alone. Man, the mom came to the school. Oh my God, I can't believe she said this to my baby and she's just so aggressive and da-da-da. And I was like, listen, you got two ways to deal with this. You're going to deal with it willingly or forcefully. I don't give a fuck what you choose. But what you will choose is to make sure that little girl leave my baby alone. Because not only will I be whooping her ass, I'll make sure my daughter whoop her ass, my son will be whooping her ass, her cousins will be whooping her ass, and she'll just keep getting her ass whooped until she actually learned that you shouldn't treat people like that.
Yeah, for real.
Do you know after we had that conversation, mind you, I never put my hands on anybody. But they did tell me I can't come back to the school. They like suspended me from the school for like 2 weeks.
They got a picture of Ann with her hoodie on in the office, like, don't let this person in.
But after that, the little girl started being super sweet. And I've learned, like, in my experiences at the school, like, even when it comes to me volunteering, they always put the kids that they feel like have the most behavioral issues with me because I don't play with kids. I feel like at the end of the day, I will slap the shit out of your child.
I strongly believe that kids, discipline also equates love to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they want to know you care. They want to know you care. Now, there's extreme versions, obviously, but when you're firm, when you show the kid that you have, like I said, that you care about them, you have a standard. This is what it's gonna be. We're not gonna allow no one to treat us no less than this, and I'm definitely not gonna allow this for you. And that and the other, I feel like they know that. And
I feel like when a child
craves discipline.
I would never abuse a child, so let me make sure that I actually give that.
And there's a difference. That's what I'm saying. There's a difference between
I would never do anything that I would
and
not do to my own child. But I even tell people when they want me to babysit, don't leave a child with me that I can't discipline.
Yeah.
Because if I can't discipline them, then you're opening the door for them to feel like they could disrespect me. And if it go too far,
and it's dangerous because they could hurt themselves. A lot of times they're doing stupid shit to themselves. Like, it's like, yo, you're gonna do something, you're gonna hurt yourself.
That's why I'm telling everybody, listen, discipline your motherfucking kids. Otherwise,
grab them little big head
I will discipline you, and I will whoop your ass in front of your child just to make your child cry and feel like he don't want to do that no more. Just so he know his mama got his ass whooped, and after his mama get his ass whooped, he don't want to actually fuck up because he don't want his mama to get his ass whooped again. Seriously.
Sounds like a lot of trauma, but yeah. I mean, I guess some trauma's healthy. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
It's a healthy
You gotta do what you gotta
trauma.
do. You know what I'm saying? This is No Invite podcast. We don't condone no type of child abuse, but I feel like when you don't discipline your child and you don't give your child the attention and the shit that the building blocks for life, that is child abuse. So, you know what I mean? It's a fine line. But yeah, I could dig that. You know what I mean? I'm happy with that. The PSA was righteous. You know, and people need to know that it's something that maybe might not be obvious, but it's like it should be. But not everybody was raised the same, and everybody has different things. So we're all learning. At the end of the day, I'm not knocking nobody until they fucking absolutely show that they can't do better, right? And they're not willing to do better, because everyone can do better. But if you're not willing to do better, then that's when I have no tolerance for you. At least you may not need to be where I'm at, or maybe I'm not where you're at, but at least if I show understanding and not hate and not, you know what I'm saying, then maybe I could elevate myself up to a different, level. You know what I mean? A way of thinking, you know what I mean?
I feel like that's where, remember we was talking earlier about the honest and brutally honest. This is where the potential of me being brutally honest would come in, because when it comes to kids, I do not play. I'm hella hypersensitive to kids. Like, I'm a person, I feel like if you don't want to be a parent, just give your baby to me. I'll take them.
No, yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah, I will tell you,
like, care, like,
you're
you
trash.
Really feel that shit, like, you know what I mean? Because I come from a big family, so I always for always it's always like, to me, I always cherish those moments, because I really feel like I learned how to be in the world, or make my way through the world through my family, through my brothers, my sisters, because they were all different levels of growth and maturity, teaching me shit. And I'm observant, because I've always been an observant kid. So I've always like, fought for kids. You know what I'm saying? I've always believed in kids. I'm the guy that buys, the kid down the street some tennis shoes if he does good with his grades. You know what I mean? I'm tight with their parents, and I know money ain't cool. I'll be like, yo, boom, here you go. Get this. Because I know what it's like to have somebody that gives a fuck about you. You know what I'm saying? Not just your parents, but because kids need a lot of that shit. They need the truth. They need discipline, and they need a lot of love, man. That's how you really raise good kids. You know what I mean? They gotta have the discipline. They gotta know. You know what I mean? You gotta be able to put your foot down. And I sometimes I feel bad, but sometimes I know that it's what's necessary. You know what I mean? Now sometimes if I feel bad, then I know I'm doing it right, because you know what? It was absolutely necessary. You know what I mean?
That's how it goes.
That's parenting in a nutshell. You don't know what the fuck you're doing.
I still fuck your mama up.
So, Hoodie Ann. Like I said, we gonna
I'm so serious.
Yeah, I
don't care.
I know you are. Okay, so then that's what it is. All right, we're gonna take a quick break, then we're gonna jump back on, and we're gonna get off into this next shit. Bang bang, we back. No Invite, season 2, the level up, and we're gonna keep it going, and it's about that time. We're gonna do the business segment, the business spot. We still ain't named this segment yet, so we're just calling it that for now. We're gonna let Ann, whenever she wants to, name that shit. But we got Ann, your local, your authority on the No Invite podcast for business endeavors, and she's gonna kick the business segment to you. So what we got for this week?
So I definitely want to talk to people about, like, when you start an LLC. So I know there's a lot of people that go out and they start an LLC and they don't know a lot of stuff about it. One of the things that I had to learn was that in the state of California, they always require, if you start an LLC, a S Corp, or a C Corp, they require you to have a registered agent. The registered agent is a person who is supposed to be available during business hours for them to, like, get your mail, know when, like, your taxes is due, know when you should pay fees.
Basically, they want to know that somebody's on top of your overall business shit.
What I'm saying is that don't make the mistake I made. Just go and be your own registered agent. So I wasn't aware that I can be my own registered agent. Mm-hmm. And so because I wasn't aware, I've been paying someone to be my registered agent. That person has only checked in with me, I think, twice this year. Mm-hmm. One of the times they checked in with me was to confirm with me that the state of California is no longer requiring that $800 tax fee for when you start a new business. The second time they checked in with me was about the deadline for taxes. Well, this is stuff I was already on top of anyways, because I had to do it. I have a tax consultant and everything like that. Yeah. So to me, I feel like I've kind of just been wasting money. So my little tidbit for the week is don't waste your money. Be your own registered agent. If you get mail, make sure that you read it. Make sure that you actually look at it. Pay your bills on time, and save yourself some money. If you're paying somebody $40 a month for 12 months, when really it's something that you could just read your own mail about, there's no value in you doing that. You can actually save that money, and that money that you actually give into that, you could utilize to reinvest in your business. So
okay.
That's where
So question, what's the difference between an S Corp and a C Corp, you said, or whatever?
Oh, small business and large business. S Corp and C Corp is like the level of the corporation. So S Corp only has so many people. C Corp, I think S Corp is like 499 people and below. Mm-hmm. And then C Corp is like 500 and above. Yeah, so how many people that you have working for you?
You're like big, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So me, for instance, I'd be an S Corp.
Correct, or you could be an LLC, a limited liability corporation.
And what is that? Okay, so for instance, limited liability corporation, what does that entail actually for you?
So
what does that do?
So the reason for the limited liability corporation, it just limits what people can actually sue you for.
Yeah.
So once you
shelter,
actually
basically
become a business, if you are like a sole proprietor of this small business, first of all, when you become a business, you have to have like a team of people. You can't be a corporation and not have
CFO,
a board. Yeah.
You know
you have to have some form of a board. Once you acknowledge who the board is, then CFO, all of you guys are liable. So it's like the CEO, CFO, people like that. S Corp, C Corp, same difference. if you're an LLC, then you can be the CFO and the CEO. Mm-hmm. It just means that you're limited to what people can actually sue you for, but at the same time, don't get it twisted. They can still sue your ass, so make sure that you're on top of your shit. Yeah,
you got to make sure that you're operating within the parameters of what you're filed as or
correct
under, right? So
right.
Most definitely. See, these are the little things that people need to know. I'm on the podcast we encourage a lot of self-reliance, and we definitely want people, encourage the entrepreneur and people to take that step, because a lot of times it's these small little pieces of information that they just don't know that's been holding them back the whole time. And once they realize, okay, it's not as difficult, and I'm sure it's not easy neither. If you're somebody that wants to start a business, but at least a little bit of the lingo, you know how it works, and when you go talk to somebody that could help you with this type of situation, like someone like Ann, to help get your books right and get your business on as far as the paperwork straightened out and get you on course, then it encourages people to actually go and use these tools and utilize these things and realize that man, we talked about it. You said it earlier, and they said it on the fucking. I was supposed to say it earlier, but the whole living wage situation.
Right.
I'm not going to get too far deep into that, but basically, a study came out saying that anybody working minimum wage cannot afford rent anywhere in the United States, no matter where you're at. Period.
Facts.
So basically, if you work minimum wage job, it's not a living wage, and I get that it's not really meant to be a thing, but at the same time, when there's not a lot of opportunities, people are forced to make a living wage off that type
Correct.
of stuff. So by knowing that, and what you're saying, it all kind of makes sense, and it all ties in together, because at the same time, you have to know these things, you have to have knowledge, and you got to know what you got to know these little things. You know what I'm saying? You got to have your business on straight. You got to make sure that you're dealing with in the right situation because it's shit like that. So
you just got to make sure your paperwork is together. But in all honesty, we are in the age of information. You can find out anything. They got Clubhouse. They got shit on the internet. You can find out a lot of this information. You just have to be willing to research it. Once you research it and confirm it, move in that manner.
There's so much scamming on the internet that there's a reason why a lot of people are skeptical about this type of shit. But when you think about it, back in the day, our parents, our grandparents, when they went to go start a business, how the fuck did they do this shit? They went and hollered at somebody, a specialist or somebody that went to school for this, right? That knows this, right?
Absolutely, and that's why WDR management, aka we define Renaissance management, is all the way there. Y'all can reach out to me. WDR management is ready and willing.
I hate to say that people be hating out here in the world, but that's what it is. But over here, we don't hate, so we throw each other the alley-oop all the time. So, had to throw that out there. But no, there's a lot of scamming. But the difference is that, like, that's the thing about podcasts that I like, though, too. I've listened to podcasts and learned things that actually help me benefit business-wise for my podcast. So this is another way of just spreading the information out there that's common and maybe even giving people the confidence to want to deal with somebody locally or somebody that they see that's reputable in regards to this type of shit. Like my homegirl Silena, she does credit repair, and she does financial literacy and all kinds of stuff too, right? Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing as, like, she was saying the same thing as a lot of times people think you're a scam, when it's really not. I'm not a scam. I just studied something that everyone has the opportunity to know, but not very many people do know, and nor do they bother to take the time to actually study this shit. So
the other thing is, I feel
you're providing a service.
Yeah, and the other thing is, I feel like people, there's an old saying that said, if you want to hide something from somebody, put it in a book.
Yeah.
There's way too much knowledge out here for people to actually get game, and they just don't want it. But sometimes there's a fear of taking that leap of faith. That's the reason why I feel like when I come on here, I try to tell you stuff that, like, I've listened to plenty of people talk about, like, how they want this business or how they started their business, and they have little questions. Sometimes you can be an amazing performer, but that does not make you a good business person. You just got to be on your shit. But what I am saying is, if you take the time to actually learn or research, or even hire a person like me, get that information and actually make it so that you don't actually have to be paying somebody out of pocket for something you can do, then do that.
Or even if, like, for instance, and it's all about learning, though. When you do something through somebody and you pay for a service, try to learn about that and
Right.
how that works too, though. Do your, like you said, do your research and learn about how that shit works. Me, I got into the music shit and I went to school for it, so I know about recording and I know about theory and all that shit of sound and whatnot. So I get the idea, but I don't want to specialize in it. But I know it that way when I'm going to deal with people in regards to that, I know what I'm talking about.
Right.
And I could translate my message, but most importantly, those people know that I know what I'm talking about, so they can't try to pull one over on me. You dig?
Right.
Knowledge is power, definitely. You know what I mean?
Knowledge is only powerful when it's applied.
Exactly.
You know how many people got the knowledge and they don't do shit with it? They just smart dummies.
But there's a lot of people that got the knowledge and hold on to it and don't give it up because they know.
And that'd be so boozy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's that shit.
So
That's that shit we don't do here. That's why you get all this free game. We should be charging y'all asses, which y'all could really do us a favor and just stream the podcast. We're going to end it on that right there. No Invite Podcast, Season 2, The Level Up, Episode 42. I'm Blaze.
And I am the best kept secret.
That's Hoodie Ann. And you can find us on Instagram. And where can they find you at? Where can they want to reach you for your services and everything that you do? Because you do a lot.
So if they are looking for me for WDR management, which is anything that you need that is business related, you can reach out to my personal Instagram, which is just divalicious_ego, which is DIVALICIOUS_EGO. If you are looking to get body sculpting, facials, or waxing, which I want to let everybody know, I am comfortable with a facial and I am comfortable with pussies. You can also reach
I'm comfortable with pussies too, but not when it's not motherfucking dudes. I'm talking about real female vagina pussy, because there's a lot of pussy motherfuckers out there. But I'm comfortable with female vagina pussy all day too. So I agree with you. More power to you.
You can reach me at Anasa Opulent Aesthetics, which is ANASA _opulent OPLUENT _aesthetics AESTHETICS.
Spell it out like you know what you're talking about.
Okay,
shit.
I'm trying.
I mean, that's a lot. You know what I mean? No Invite Podcast. You can find us on Instagram at no_invite_podcast. You could also subscribe to our YouTube channel. That would help a lot. At RiBirth Media Films, that's RiBirth Media Films. I just released the first episode to my series, the Vlog Life series. I released it on Instagram and on my Instagram TV, but I'm re-releasing it on the RiBirth YouTube channel just so y'all can get a bar of it. You know what I mean? Check it out. You can see a little behind the scenes of what we do, not just the podcast. For those people around the world that only know me, believe it or not, they only know us. They know me for podcasting. They don't know my music really yet.
What?
Like, you know what I'm saying? And see, that's the dope part about it too, because now that they fuck with me on this shit, shout out to 704 Records. You know what I mean? Actually, before I go to, I definitely got to shout them out there in the Netherlands. Those are my folks. They, what's it called? Avid listeners of the No Invite Podcast. They fuck with it. They do all kinds of recording services for you. You name it, they got it. And I know you're hearing and you're like, yo, it's the Netherlands or whatever. How we gonna reach out, man? It's the age of the fucking internet. What is you talking about? Like, you know what I mean? It's the age of the internet, and they do it all. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that you guys holler at them. You know what I mean? They're based in Amsterdam. They specialize in recording beats, instrumentals, production, including mixing and mastering, as well as their own exclusive in-house production, ranging from rap through reggaeton. They do it all. You can find them on Instagram at 704 Records. And tell them that No Invite Podcast send you. But they listen to us. They all the way out in the Netherlands. We got a following. Dope. I've been looking at the analytics. We are in New York. We are in Chicago. France is fucking with us. Shout out to France out there. We appreciate y'all tapping in. You know, we just some crazy Americans doing what the fuck all we know how. You know what I mean? But the cool part about it is that no matter where we at, there's all something we could all relate to. And that's the dope shit. That's why we continue to give y'all a piece of our perspective. Shout out to everyone locally. Whether you're crazy or you're not, for fucking with us. It's No Invite Podcast, and we out.